Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Charting Man Dan, trader and technical analyst with the Chart Guys. Most of you know that. But in this video, we're going to look at Bitcoin, some of the altcoins, the crypto stocks, and see where we stand now that we have a pretty convincing rejection from resistance. We'll highlight the key support levels that we're looking at. And I hope you had a good July 4th holiday for those that celebrated it. Clearly, a lot of people are still celebrating because the market is very slow today in terms of stocks. Volume is still very low. The echoes of children's laughter coming from neighbors' yards. People are still on holiday. But the market never sleeps. So Bitcoin. We've got a double top rejection and it's still 31,000. Even going back here, we topped out at 31,000. We consolidated for a long time. Technically, we broke 31,000, but only by just over 1%. As far as I'm concerned, that's not a clear rejection. And you can see with between 31 and 31.5, it's a resistance zone that we have just been rejecting from over the last couple of weeks. So the bulls are keeping EMA 12 support on the daily, which we are bouncing off of right now. And we're keeping the higher low. We had a little level at 30.1 thousand. So those are remaining intact, but it's a clear rejection. So bulls have to be a little bit cautious. And one thing that is standing out to me that is making me a little bit uncomfortable. I do my analysis and I look at the chart of Bitcoin and I say, all right, it's bullish. We're in an uptrend and we've got higher lows and we've got support. But I look around social media, and this is something I mentioned to Chart Guys members the other day. It's just everybody's bullish. The bears are gone. And I really don't like when everybody's looking in the same direction. And the last time, again, that I mentioned that was the case was when the day that gold topped, I mentioned on Twitter, everybody's bullish. I wish there were more bears out there. And it's the same in crypto. So that makes me prepared for weekly consolidation to potentially be shaping up. We know the burden is on bears to lose daily EMA 12 to prove to us that weekly consolidation is shaping up. But again, we just never want to get into a mindset where we're in an echo chamber on social media because we know that that does not end well most of the time. So you can be bullish, but always have your exit plan. Always have your stop level. Always have your invalidation, where if this happens, I'm no longer bullish. For example, Amazon stock, daily EMA 12, has been holding month after month after month after month. It looks like a rising wedge. There's upper wicks. Each bull break is lacking follow through. But my simple statement, again, making technical analysis as simple as possible, if daily EMA 12 is support, the bulls have nothing to worry about. If we lose daily EMA 12 for the first time, then it clearly stands out glaringly, something is different. Things are shifting. Now, it's not the same thing for the Bitcoin daily EMA 12 because we've only held it a couple of times. It's not as meaningful a long-term signal like it is on Amazon, but that's just an example of finding something that we can identify and say, as long as this is happening, nothing is changing. And then when something changes, we know things are happening. So the dominance chart for Bitcoin is still keeping an uptrend at this point. As far as I'm concerned, the bears would have to confirm a daily downtrend. And I've been talking about the ideal scenario for a crypto altcoin bull would be if Bitcoin remains range bound, ideally between 30 and 31.5, and the dominance chart confirms a daily downtrend into weekly consolidation. Because right now we don't have weekly consolidation underway, and if that were to happen, that would tell us Bitcoin sideways, dominance dropping, means altcoins are outperforming again. It happened briefly. It has not happened since that brief solid red candle. It has in little pockets, little individual names, but as far as the altcoin space as a whole, it will not show relative strength unless this daily downtrend confirms. With regard to Bitcoin in the short term, we have a bit of a bounce underway right now. And this was just a super stack alert, just in terms of super stack is our Trader Pro platform, and when you have a number of time frames all aligning in extreme RSI, that is when the super stack goes off. And today we had that with hourly RSI on Bitcoin hit the teens And at the same time, the 15-minute RSI was in the teens, and the 5-minute RSI was down in the 20s. And so with that, you can see, we're not in an area with back burner. You look for back burners when you're expanding ranges. So you hear me talk about, markets are all about constricting ranges, equilibriums that then break and expand their ranges. And after big breaks, whether it's bull or bear, we scout back burners to be looking for trade opportunities. If we're sideways, there's no back burners because we're not coming from a big breakout or a big breakdown. So then we're scouting super stacks to be potential signals. And so this is just an example. Again, they're not nailing the tops and the bottoms here, but they're telling us when things are overextended and they're giving us a heads up. It's not the kind of alert that fires and you rush and you're buying very quickly. A back burner, you're looking to buy as it signals. Whereas a super stack is more like, start looking in the other direction. If it's a bull super stack, maybe you look to take some profit. Maybe you start to look in the other direction and establish a trade game plan. And if it's a big dump, you're looking for a bounce. Things are getting extreme to the downside. Establishing the trade game plan. It's almost like it gives you a little bit of a heads up where, okay, you can get to the computer, establish your game plan. And if it's on an hourly super stack, again, it's not, you don't need to be rushing to enter everything on one position right away. So in a sideways range, keep an eye out for super stacks. But for me, the hourly super stack is the lowest time frame that I'd be looking at as far as things to be acting on in a sideways range. 15-minute and 5-minute, not enough time frames aligning. I want the hourly, the 15-minute, and the 5-minute all aligning in extremes. And I'll post that link for Trader Pro if you're interested in checking that out. Many of you already have. So crypto stocks are showing us a good bit of relative strength today. And the easy way to see relative strength is to look at MARA and Riot and say, okay, they're both green, yet Bitcoin is lower than where we closed Monday at 1 p.m. because it was a holiday short day. Bitcoin closed right at 31,000 at the end of stock trading on Monday. And so right now, Bitcoin is down 1.5% plus, almost 2%, yet Riot is up 2% and MARA is up 1.5%. Very clear relative strength. So we can say if Bitcoin sets a daily high or low off EMA 12 support, and we're going to need proving here, we're going to need an hourly, and really we're going to need a 4-hour uptrend to confirm, to have confidence that a daily high or low is being set. But if a daily high or low is being set, these names are positioned very well for it. Riot is looking up at 1443, highest level we've seen in a year. And MARA just keeps hitting new many-month highs, just grinding higher. And today was a really nice setup for bounces. First thing this morning, and you can see the bounce on MARA, 7%. The setup was, the open was right into Bitcoin extremes. Bitcoin was at its extremes as the stock market opened, and we knew that MARA and Riot, the most likely scenario was an hourly high or low compared to the low of Monday. And so we got a big old bounce in response to that. That's an example of a confluence of signals. Hourly high or low, most likely scenario for the crypto stocks. Bitcoin, extreme RSI, hourly oversold bounces due. Those are the two main factors. The NASDAQ went straight up at the open. That definitely helped the bulls as well. But when you see the most likely scenario on the crypto stocks aligning with the most likely scenario on Bitcoin, it's ideal. And so we knew a Bitcoin hourly oversold bounce was going to happen sooner or later this morning. And fortunately for the bulls, it started right at the open. Coin has been a little bit weaker today. Coin is an inside bar, whereas MARA and Riot have both broken to a higher high. So we'll keep an eye out on that to see if it's tiring, if the bulls are tiring. Pretty much if we fail 80.85 and break 76.16 tomorrow, that would confirm an hourly downtrend into daily consolidation. But overall, crypto stocks holding fairly well. ETH, I'm watching a 12-hour rising wedge. And I'm watching that because we had a bull break into consolidation and a bull break into consolidation. There is a lack of follow through. And when there's a lack of follow through, you scout a wedge. And so this is the wedge that I'm scouting. And I would actually, this is why with trend lines, again, they're subjective. So if I'm drawing this pattern, I put it right there. But I'm looking at this and saying, well, you know, we got a potential bounce shaping up. It could very easily just be there as well. So if we do see the bulls follow through on this bounce a little bit, I'll adjust my uptrend support line to include where we just came from. But I'm keeping an eye out on this potential 12-hour rising wedge. It's also potential head and shoulders. Left shoulder, head, and if we bounce and fail resistance and then confirm a 12-hour head and shoulders, we'll be confirming two bearish patterns at the same time. So just something to be keeping an eye on. If ETH bounces but sets a 12-hour lower high compared to 1977 where we topped out. And ETH BTC, watching this weekly falling wedge, but we're only going to have confidence in the bounce off of this support if the daily uptrend confirms. So bulls are trying to set a daily high or low. They have yet to do so. And then we must confirm the daily uptrend to have confidence in that weekly bounce. Litecoin getting beat up. Litecoin daily EMA 12 support coming into play. Hourly RSI didn't get too beat up, but kissing oversold a couple times here. And the 4-hour is approaching oversold as well. If we see another leg down, 4-hour oversold conditions will be on the table. But we have given back a good number of this big bull move here. Should say a good amount of it. Retracement of 50%. Some people are looking for a potential sell the news event into the halving. And that's worth keeping an eye on. And you'll see it in LTC BTC if that is shaping up. If LTC BTC, again, we didn't confirm a daily uptrend. Do not forget that uptrends are needed for follow through. And a perfect example for that, CGC Crypto or Cannabis Company, all bears, free fall to zero. Everybody on one side of the boat can lead to mini short squeezes. Never confirmed an hourly uptrend, given most of it back. Shot up 50% in a day, never confirmed the hourly uptrend. The scales balance out again, we fade back. So LTC BTC, never confirmed the daily uptrend. Are we going to just fade back? Maybe. Got to be watching for a daily lower high. If we confirm a daily downtrend again, that will increase probability of sell the news event a good bit if that were to shape up. We were checking in on XRP last stream, watching for a weekly high or low as the most likely scenario to keep this equilibrium shaping up. And to set the weekly high or low, we need a daily trend change back to the bulls, which means we must hold 449 and break 496 to confirm the daily uptrend. But the only way that I would be looking for a bullish entry on this chart is if XRP BTC gives me a reason. It's still very weak. It's a daily bear flag. You've got to get over daily EMA 12 and give me some indication that XRP is gaining strength against Bitcoin. Otherwise, I have no interest in looking for that weekly high or low. So prove it, XRP BTC. Get over daily EMA 12 resistance and show me that there's a shift underway. BCH was a big runner. Again, never confirmed a clear daily uptrend. And so now the question is, how much are we going to get back? Remember the example from the live stream last time we did one? When was that? Monday? Maybe? I talked about how technically we didn't get to hourly oversold conditions here, but that's the back burner. It's front run. Big old bounce. And now since then, we've touched hourly oversold multiple times with 0 bounces because we used up first hourly oversold conditions. But we didn't hit hourly oversold conditions. You're right, we didn't. But we got down to 31. That counts. That has us use it up. As far as, all right, hourly oversold, off the table. Now we look to 4-hour oversold. And that is approaching. Another leg down and we'll be in 4-hour oversold conditions looking for a daily high or low, trying to hold daily EMA 12. And if I'm playing that bounce, I want the super stack. I want the 4 hour to just be getting oversold. I want the hourly RSI down around 20. I want the 15-minute RSI as beat up as possible. I want the 5-minute as beat up as possible, because that tells me that we're likely to see a short-term bounce. Even if it's not the 4 hour oversold bounce that I'm looking for, we could see a 15-minute oversold bounce that at least allows me to do some positioning and remain in control of that trade. Those are the things that I want to talk about. Appreciate you all tuning in on this slower Wednesday. Please give me a like. We've only got 36. So coin is weaker, but it's only going to be a shift if we break 76.16 from here and see a daily inside bar bear break into daily consolidation. Otherwise, bull's still holding on pretty well. Hawkish Fed minutes. So you got to keep in mind that anything coming out of the hawkish Fed minutes, we already heard from Powell during the conference. So priced in to a certain degree. No new information there. Thank you, Lee. Same to you. So yeah, coin, just keeping it simple. Just a daily inside bar. Probably going to remain that way. And then tomorrow, we're either going to break it bullish or break it bearish. And that will give us the short-term information. So let's go over scenarios here. If you are bearish, you're top fishing Bitcoin 31.5. Very clear resistance level. If you're looking bullish, hopefully entered on some of this extreme weakness on the morning. If not, you could be a picky bull and say, I need a big enough 4 hour bounce where I'm confident that a 4 hour high or low is then the most likely scenario. I enter on the 4 hour consolidation. I put my stop under the low at that point, and I look for the 4 hour trend change back to the bulls. I'm definitely getting a bit cautious in the crypto stocks just because they are extended since last daily consolidation, but the bulls are keeping their control. Oh, just a heads up, we've got at 3:30 p.m., and thanks for the post in the chat room, but 3:30 p.m. BlackRock is going to be on CNBC, and they're going to be talking about at least a little bit about the refiling of the ETF. So I don't think anything groundbreaking will be said there, but you never know. So we could see Bitcoin reacting a bit to that. If this is going to be the top, we need to see the broader market show weakness as well. And here's the NASDAQ testing 52-week highs today. So you can have Bitcoin reject from resistance, but if we're going to follow through to the downside, you need to start seeing some doubt in markets. And we have not had doubt in markets in months. As always, establish your game plan for both directions. If we see this bullish action, I will do this. If we start to see weakness, I will exit my position if this level hits. For me personally, I've been actively trading the crypto stocks on a daily basis, but as far as Bitcoin, grabbed, again, as I mentioned, an anti-FOMO swing position a while ago. I sold half above 30 or 40% above 31,000, and I'm not doing anything at this point. I'm not adding it back. I attempted to add it back on ETH. I talked about that mistake that I made last live stream. But at this point in time, I am just patiently watching the sideways range and waiting for a little bit more conviction in one direction or the other. I don't have conviction in either direction right now, and that by default means I side with the bulls because they've got the trend in their favor. but just waiting patiently for a bit more information. And again, you can always just make a tally. You can make a bull and bear tally and say, okay, what are the points in favor of the bulls? Daily uptrend. ETF news dangling carrot. Crypto stock relative strength. Bear category, struggling at 31,000, double top at 31.5. That's really all. Or everybody bullish on social media. That's in the bear column. That's pretty much all I've got in the bear column right now. All right. Appreciate you all tuning in. Have a great rest of your day. We will check back in, and by the end of this week, probably continue to see a tightening range. But you never know. Keep an eye on those crypto stocks. There sometimes are clues there. And right now, they are still favoring the bulls. And as always, do good things.